I think I'm going to shock you with this, or maybe not.
Oh, an early morning shocker. I'm interested.
The Cowboys play the Lions. The Lions are generally thought of as being the best team in the NFC, or arguably they're in the mix.
I think they are.
I'm predicting a Dallas Cowboys victory.
I can be talked into that. The floor is yours.
So, if you think about the NFL, it's so unbelievably, ridiculously stupid. Like, coaches don't know how to manage clocks and they get huge, high paying jobs. And that whole cliche, any given Sunday, it's like the reality is there is so much parity here.
Right.
And I don't even want to predict it anymore. Like I don't like I would totally I feel like the Cowboys are flirting with a top 10 pick and, advancing in the postseason. I don't know. I do know this. I was watching Chase Daniel. Do you remember him? Was he a Missouri quarterback?
Yeah, I
Where
think he was the South Lake guy, wasn't he?
was he?
I believe so. He was a Missouri quarterback, though, to answer your question.
So he was breaking down film, which I don't do. I don't look at film, but he was showing the all 22 and looking at film and stuff like that. And so when those guys do, Baldinger or any of those guys do it, or
I
of
love
course
Baldy. Baldy's great.
he's great, or Broadus or people that really, Kavanaugh, people that really break down film and those types of things. I pay attention. I don't pretend to be that. I do. I have seen people in media pretend to be that.
Oh, yeah.
You remember?
Oh, I remember well.
I was looking at the film,
Yeah.
and it's like, dude, what were you doing? Because
Cool, man.
uh,
I
it's-
also do things on the internet. Badass. Man.
and anyways, Chase Daniel was breaking this down, and some of the throws Dak made were phenomenal, just phenomenal. And
Right.
I think I don't know what to make of the offense on why it's so stagnant. Maybe it's because they don't have much of a run game, and maybe they got the run game going this week, so it opened it up. They really ran into red zone problems, but I have immense confidence in Dak Prescott, and what he did on that final drive was so meaningful. Like, that's it. Your nuts are on the line. Complete it and you win. Don't complete it and you lose. I believe in him, but I'm betting on the absolute absurdity of the product. And just when you think you know what the NFL is going to do, and you're in your submarine and you're following the NFL submarine, they do a crazy Ivan just to make sure that you can't predict exactly what they're going to do. And this week, it's going to be the Cowboys with the crazy Ivan. They're going to win this game. They're going to get and I was also looking at CD's numbers last year. CD had like an early 100-yard game, like week 2, and then some real pedestrian efforts. And then right around week 6 or 7, maybe it was 7, is when he totally caught fire. And you started seeing, I don't know, 10, 12, 14 targets, and it was over 150 yards in multiple games. And I think we're about to get into that range. And so I predict the Dallas Cowboys beat the Lions. Write it down. Remember this. I'm going to be vindicated. Cowboys win on Sunday.
What do you think the spread is right now, if you were to guess?
I bet it would support my case here that you can't predict the NFL. And Vegas is like, okay, so the Cowboys are home. So typically that's 3 points, right? Or is it 2.5?
That's what they say. They say 3.
Okay, so if the Cowboys are at home, you would say that they're 3-point favorites, and then you would go, oh, wait, the Lions are better. Let's go ahead and make the Lions 2.5-point favorites. I bet that's what it is.
Lions are, last I saw, they're 3 points favorites. That's what I was just looking up there.
Okay.
And then maybe we'll see some other action that'll move the line. Who knows? I would think people would put money on the Lions to cover, which will start, making the line go back in the other direction. But no, I mean, it wouldn't shock me if the Cowboys beat the Lions. They just got to go score a bunch of points, because not only will the Lions score a bunch of points, the Lions, remember, are going to be pissed off about how that game ended last year. I've already seen people talking about it. They're going to go for it on 4th down every single time. So that defense that has all those injuries, which, by the way, KT randomly said on our show yesterday, Deron Bland, don't come back. Like, dude, just wait. You're about to have a bye week. Just everybody try to get as healthy as you can, because I think we play the Niners on the other side of the bye week, which maybe I agree with that. I don't know that bringing Duron Bland back suddenly slows down the Lions offense that is like really prolific. But you're going to have to score a ton of points. And you were talking about that Chase Daniel breakdown. Dak is going to have to be great. That takeoff you're talking about, that was all like, remember last year when CD was bitching and Mike McCarthy and Dak were having to answer questions about it. And then Dak went to CD and then suddenly they got on the same page. And now CD's is paid as he is. They do need to figure some things out to get the offense going. The defense is not going to be great. That was a really good Pittsburgh defense that they scored 20 on the road, and they should have scored more. They had multiple turnovers, inside scoring range. They had a blocked field goal. That game shouldn't have been close. So I like your prediction. I stand with Ben. Unless the Cowboys lose, I'm like, what are you thinking? The Lions are so much better than the Cowboys. Burn the tape. I want to read you a story, though, and maybe you've heard this.
Okay.
This is my favorite story. Did you hear a Zach Martin special teams story from the last game?
I did not.
Okay. I'm going to read this to you. I'm not going to read the whole thing, but I'm going to read. This is Bones talking, okay? Their special teams coach. Zach was standing right by me, and he taps me, and he goes, "Hey, Terrence is cramping. I'm going to go get him. I'm like, okay. And he was already running out there. What a credit to Zach Martin, seriously, to take it upon himself, who was also cramping, to notice his teammate was hurting, so he ran in there at a position he hasn't been on, in field goal protection before, and sub Terrence out on his own. What a fantastic veteran man to do that." So They were listing snap counts in the Athletic, and it said special teams, Zach Martin, 1. And I thought you would really dig that story. I think that's pretty fun.
Yes, dude. That is awesome. That shows leadership, obviously, but it also shows, we learned a lot about the offensive line because Travis Frederick is a good friend, and Zach and Tyron and talking to those guys, but mostly Travis. And, they paint this picture of it being a really tightly knit group. Like they're all in lockstep together. They're with each other all the time. And so that's a testament to that he could look out there, see Terrence struggling, and go out there and get his brother, pick him up and get his back. That was badass. I had not heard that story. It doesn't surprise me, but I think of going out there and playing a position he hasn't played. I think about Tyler Smith in that game too, just popping out to left tackle. Oh, yeah. I got it. Oh, there's Guyton's injured. No problem. I'll go out to left tackle, and then was pretty dominant there as well. And is that what led to Brock Hoffman coming in?
Maybe.
Or was that TJ Bass?
I thought TJ Bass came in. I think Brock Hoffman came in when Zach was cramping, I think.
Okay.
But
So
I'm not 100% sure.
When we were at Cosm and you could see the whole sideline, is TJ Bass the one you were saying he was whipping everyone's ass?
And he was whipping Brock Hoffman's ass and vice versa.
How can it be vice versa? How can it be both getting whipped?
Because one guy was like, I want out of this conversation, but that's my teammate. And they were both simultaneously thinking that. You know what I'm saying?
Right.
It was Spider-Man memes. Like, you're whipping my ass. No, you're whipping my ass. But also, that conversation you're talking about that we saw at Cosm that felt like it was in our laps, because the camera, the screen is so huge and it's that 8K and you see everything, and we could read Brock Hoffman's lips. That also underscores how amazing it was that Zach, who wasn't on the field and wasn't going to be on the field, was so dialed into what was happening in the game, he saw to run out there and help Terrence Steele, right?
Dude.
Because Brock Hoffman and TJ Bass don't give a shit. They're over there fiddle farting around.
Yeah. I'm always for Brock Hoffman getting into the game. You don't get to see Brock Hoffman very, very often, but he's got matching pads, as you pointed. Everybody's got matching pads.
Everybody had matching pads. Yeah, Brock Hoffman is the Fred Schneider of the Dallas Cowboys. Don't ever forget that.
Yeah. Question here from Enrique Lomelli. Did you ever mention that you were in the Your Dark Companion podcast? I did do that podcast. Skin, you've done that podcast. That was awesome. Loved catching up with Rhines and Groobs and their whole crew that they have over there. They got a bunch of talented people as a part of that. That was awesome. Very much enjoyed that. Just jumped on Michael Pasvar's podcast. And then you and I were also on the podcast. What is the podcast called? Is it Hope Ignited?
Hope. Yeah, Hope Ignite Hope.
Hope Ignited.
Yeah,
with the National Breast Cancer Foundation, which is located in Frisco. But yeah, we appear on that. Oh, what about this guy? Skin? He thinks he's sick.
Well, I think another guy asked, why does Skin sound like that? And I think CL Pilcher 86 jumped in and answered the question. I kind of like that aspect of the Super Soakers, just random side questions going on over to the side.
Yeah. And thank you guys for being here. Thank you for interacting. Thank you for commenting. We see all the comments, and we love making you a part of this. That's the reason it's a live stream. We could just record it and air it at any time, but it's live because it's interactive with you. And, dude, were you surprised? So we have this thing called the Complete Fun Package, and if somebody would put the link in here, that'd be great. We want you guys to sign up for it. I think there's like 600 people signed up for it right now. But there's a couple questions there before you start, and so we can learn from you answering those questions. You give us your email, you'll be entered to win some prizes. It's a pretty cool way for us to stay in touch. But like if you look at it, one of the questions was, when did you first get on board with the Ben and Skin Show? And the number one answer, it was actually a tie. It was between ESPN and The Fan. And then it was like, what do you listen to when you're not listening to Ben and Skin? And the ticket was like 8%, like less. And I just think it goes to show that what we've always known, that, you know, we do not share an audience with the ticket at all. I do think we share an audience with fan listeners, but I just don't think we share with the ticket really much at all.
Yeah, and by the way, congratulations to the ticket. Did you see they won the Marconi for not best sports station, #1 major market station in America?
Yeah.
Yeah.
It's amazing.
Incredible.
It's incredible. It's just been such a historic run, and all they do is dominate. But the best thing we ever did was leave there.
Yeah, it was great for us. We got to kind of forge our own identity, and you know, I think we've had an amazing amount of support from folks like you guys that take the time to listen to a stream and have followed us on a journey bouncing around from station to station. But we would never really have what we have now if we hadn't left the ticket in 2008. So yeah, that was a great decision for us. And thank you all very, very much for supporting the Ben and Skin Show the entire time.
Okay.